You have no clue how many Filipino people, even not Bisaya, the whole Filipino people are so proud of you. You made everyone like smile.
Yes.
Sa tinudra. So every time, ay nag-ano diri siya. Hala, nosebleed, mga Tagalog.
Yung
Sorry.
mga Tagalog na they're watching nosebleed down.
Kasi
keep up, guys.
I'll be honest with you. Keep up. I'll be honest with you guys. Very proud because every time we see Americans who speak, it doesn't matter if it's not Tagalog, basta who speaks the dialect of Filipino, any dialect, it makes us so proud. Like you guys love us
because you embrace
so
it
much.
Because us Filipinos, we have the tendency of, because we're very westernized even when we are in the Philippines, and now going in here, we sometimes forget about Filipinism. And we become real Americans, and you guys we're really proud of you because you embrace. It's the reverse. You embrace basically
diba?
What we left in
Proud
there.
yun mi sa inyo. Grabe.
Salamat. Thank you so much for saying
Imagine,
that.
I feel like during your past life, you guys are like Filipinos. What a Filipino gid mo, no? But is there any traits, American traits, American and Bisaya traits that are something in common? Do you think
Now that you've
been in Manila, in the Philippines, naabay traits?
I think.
Go ahead, Connor.
Ikaw.
Okay.
Nagkahiyaan pa to, nag-ulaw. Okay, go. Go, Davis.
Before going on my mission, I met someone from Cebu, and I remember asking, like, what can you tell me about the Philippines and the Visayas and Cebu? And she said that people, like, each island, it kind of has its own personality, right? And that that makes sense. And I think that it's the same in the United States. Like we've been able to live in a lot of different places, and each place definitely has like its own culture and its own personality. Sure. But one of the things that I really liked about being in the Visayas is there's people are proud to be Pinoy, and you see that especially when you have like OPMs and people who are excuse me, OPM, original Filipino music. I meant like overseas work.
OFW.
Yes.
OPM. I'm like, you'd see it in the OPM so much.
Yes.
No, but like, it rubbed off on me. I saw so many people who were proud of their culture, proud of their proud of their language, proud of their food, and it made me, like, it got me excited about it. It made me want to learn. It made me want to try. And so I think that we really believed in that as part of the Hey Joe show. Is even though Bisaya traditionally hasn't gotten as much representation in like media and culture as Tagalog, we believed that if people had some exposure to it, if they could get a taste and see, what Bisaya culture was all about, hopefully we would be like just kind of the first step, and then they could meet Bisaya folks. They could meet Filipinos who could teach them more about like the real stuff.
Oh, what about you, Connor? You were about to say something earlier.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think we learned that laughter and like music connects everyone.
Yes.
And so, about like what you said about us, that's why we're so proud of, you guys for what you're doing on the podcast. You see it as things like this, entertainment, laughter, music. It connects Filipinos and non-Filipinos like all over the world. And so I think whether you're in the U.S. or whether you're in the Philippines, we learned that like our love for Filipino culture and just laughter brings us all together. And that was the focus of the Hey Joe show. And that's like also what you're doing with this podcast. So like, proud kayo mi sa inyo, okay? Kamo,
salamat kayo, uy.
What you're doing is like what we wanted with the Hey Joe show. So kamo ang like heroes pod namo na nakabuhat moging manani, and continue Filipinos everywhere. It's awesome.
Oh my God.
You're very welcome, Connor. I'm just talking to Connor like this. You're very welcome, Connor.
Murag wala na siya. Nadungga na.
Muli na kong Brooklyn ugma. Kaon pa sa crystals dito.
The rest of us are trying to talk and JCAS is just ignoring
It's
us.
just like dazing. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My
Connor na
gosh.
lang.
So si Connor na lang. Pero time pa. What about ang mga pagkaon? I'm sure it's been a while, right? So do you cook the Filipino food now?
Do you always go?
Do you guys
traverse to the Filipino restaurants?
You cook
if there
Filipino
is,
food?
wherever you are?
Especially
Yes.
mga pandesal in ana.
Yeah, syempre.
I saw on one of the like previews for the show, there was someone that's going to perform at the Fort in San Francisco, and that's a Filipino restaurant that all of us have eaten at here in the Bay Area. So the Fort, love the Fort.
Oh.
What about you,
kayo.
Sumner?
Ako, hilig ko og luto. Just in general, I love to cook. So of course, I still remember like some of my companions or akong mga kauban when we were missionaries. Or I don't know if you've ever seen missionaries naka white, naka necktie. They're always in twos. A lot of the time, my kauban was Filipino, and he would teach me how to cook like adobo, mongoose, buwad, ginamos, yeah.
Oh my God, kalam.
Yeah, saging gilungag.
Gilungag og na ginamos mo kaon mo?
Oh, okay.
No way.
Yeah. But here I don't have ginamos.
No, that was what I'm about to ask. Because even your family, if you cook buwad there, what does your wife say? Oh my God!
It smells.
Nabay namatay na bakit diri unsa ba na?
Iro na baho. Oh my God.
Or whatever that baho is, we're not gonna mention it, but you guys know what it resembles. That's not.
My wife doesn't let me cook buwad diri sa balay, so adobo na lang, or or like
lumpia.
lumpia.
What about you, Davis and Connor? Do you cook Filipino food too?
So I'm always looking for Filipino restaurants where I am, or even sometimes you'll find at least in places I've lived, like Asian restaurants that have a few Filipino specialties, and it's never quite as good as like food from the Philippines mismo, but I still really enjoy having some of those flavors in my life, and even if it's just lumpia from like the frozen food section,
it doesn't matter.
It's okay.
You do what you can.
Just fry it. Just fry it in a fresh oil, and then
that's
it's good to go.
It's good to go. What about you, Connor? What about you, Connor?
No matter what I eat, cereal, pasta, anything, I just add lots of MSG.
Magic startup.
Buhaton,
Uso pa ba MSG ngayon? Parang hindi na, sa Chinese food pa yata yung MSG.
You guys, I'll be honest with you guys. You guys are more Filipino than other Filipinos that I know. I swear.
Someone's taking us to a tour on his mansion.
My mansion.
I can see. How about guys?
900 square foot.
I know you're missing lechon Cebu. How about that? Or lechon in particular.
And siomai sa tisa.
Chicharon.
Chicharron.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna make you guys jealous. Tomorrow is birthday of our director. He's in the background. No, ugma namin dakog lechon dire. We have a big lechon.
Naami ano? Oo.
Connor, malapit ka lang dito. Jersey City. So, I'm enticing you with lechon.
Come on, let's go. Kuhaon ka na mo sa trend.
Sunduin ka namin.
Naami, we have, I don't know if you know bistek.
Mm-hmm.
Bistek is beefsteak.
Og na ay katong Shanghai ba? Kalamig sa Shanghai. Og na ay pansit. Og na ay
sinigang.
Oh my God. Og unsay sinigang. Sinigang.
Ana akong paborito.
Yeah. Unsay paborito? So Sumner is sinigang.
Sinigang o sisig. Sisig pod.
Ay, ugma na ay sisig, na ay bango sisig o pork sisig.
Palaway na nimo sila.
Jake, unsay favorite nimo? Unsay favorite nimo?
Favorite nako is probably chicken halang-halang.
Oh my
What's that?
God. Chicken halang-halang.
It's like
chicken, spicy
Bicol
chicken. It's
Express.
like
Yeah, it's like spicy coconut.
Okay, all right.
God, kalami. Ginoo. What about you, Davis? Unsay favorite nimo?
Ako probably mongos, and I really miss ampalaya for breakfast. Very good.
Ampalaya with egg.
Oh,
my
yeah,
God.
you have to eat ampalaya with egg. Otherwise,
With
it's too.
Oh yeah, it's just.
Oh my. What about you, Connor? What about you, Connor?
I love sinigang, but also just like inasal, mang inasal.
Mang
Inasal. We missed that
Only
too.
rice.
For years I've been saying like I want a franchise to mang inasal in the US just so I can.
Can you do that, please?
Rice? Okay, lami ka tanan.
Yeah, please do it. We've been waiting.
Seriously.
We've all been waiting.
Guys, please do it.
Very quickly, I just want to give a shout out to all of the Mang Inasal employees that come around with the big bucket of rice and give you your
only rice.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Daghang salamat sa tabang ba.
God.
I've got a question for you, JCAS and Jessy.
Okay, go.
If you go to Mang Inasal, how many cups of rice do you eat?
2. I can only eat 2. Oh, sometimes 3. What about you, Jackass?
I try not to really because it's carbs on carbs on carbs. But for the one time that I'll be coming to Mang Inasal,
You can eat 10.
I can eat more than you can imagine.
What about you guys?
Like
What about
a
you guys?
construction worker, baby.
Katong mga construction worker ba na kinamot.
Yeah.
What about you, Sumner, Jake, and Davis? Like Sumner, how many rice can you eat?
I think about 4 or 5.
4 cups.
Oh my God,
4
Jake,
cups.
4. Davis, Connor?
I'm probably 4, but sometimes they would come around with the sabaw as well, and then you can like eat it. You know, like put some of the rice in the soup, and then you eat that, and then that. Usually that means more rice.
What about you, Connor?
True Filipino.
Depends on if I'm ordering a turon split or halo-halo to top it off because
Oh my god.
Ala, datu.
I need to hold back a little bit.
Dr. Gani.
Oh my God.
Guys, we need to do a mukbang already of all this food talk.
And Mang Inasal, you should sponsor the podcast.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We'll
Oh
work
my
on that.
God.
Yes.
Grabe. Do you guys have...
Today's
You have no-
episode of Over a Glass or Two is sponsored by the PM 1.5 Spicy Paa.
Yes.
Uy, mukhaon ba mug katong Betamax,
Yes,
katong mga
chicken-
inana,
chicken feet.
mga chicken feet, mga isaw,
Street food talaga. Oh. Adidas, yes.
Balut.
ug balot.
Oh,
Mukhaon
okay.
yapon.
episode sila.